Something is shifting in your life right now, Capricorn, and if you have been paying attention, and Capricorn always pays attention, even when the rest of the world thinks you are simply being quiet, you have probably already felt it. Not a dramatic shift. Not a thunderclap or a sudden obvious reversal. More like a change in the air. Like the quality of the light has shifted slightly and you cannot quite say when it happened, only that things look a little different than they did before. That feeling is real. That perception is not your imagination running in a direction it does not belong. The universe is opening a new door for you, and it has been leaving signals along the path, breadcrumbs placed with care, each one specific enough that when you lay them out together they form a clear picture. This video is going to walk you through 11 of those signals. You do not need to have experienced all of them to know this message is for you. Even 3 or 4 is enough. Even one that hits in a way that makes you stop and say, yes, that is exactly what has been happening, that is enough. Pay attention to this. Because the door that is opening right now is one you have been working toward for a long time. And the last thing the universe wants is for you to miss it while you are focused on everything else. Signal 1. The things that used to drain you have lost their hold. There are things in your life that used to pull at you. Situations that consumed your emotional energy. Relationships that kept you in a state of low-grade anxiety, obligations that felt heavier than they should. And for a long time those things had real power over you. Not because you were weak. Capricorn is not weak. But because you were still inside the chapter where those things were asking to be resolved, where they were part of the lesson Saturn was teaching you, where they still had something to show you. Something has changed. Those same situations are still there in some cases, but they do not pull the same way. You engage with them differently. Where you used to feel the familiar tension rising in your chest, now you feel something closer to neutrality. Where you used to spend hours mentally rehearsing conversations or working through problems that could not yet be solved, now your mind moves on more easily. The emotional charge is gone, or significantly reduced. And that reduction, that quiet release of what used to grip you, that is not indifference. That is completion. When something loses its energetic hold on you in Capricorn's life, it is almost always because the lesson connected to it has finally been integrated. Saturn does not let go of a lesson until it has been fully received. The drainage stops when the learning is complete. So if certain things that used to consume you have recently lost their power to do so, this is a significant signal. It means a cycle has genuinely closed. Not because the situation necessarily resolved neatly on the outside, sometimes it did not, but because you have internally arrived somewhere new in relation to it. And arriving somewhere new internally is how the next external chapter begins. Signal 2. You are being drawn to learn something new. There is a subject, a skill, a field of study, a way of doing something that has been pulling at your attention in an unusual way lately. Maybe it started as a passing curiosity, something you noticed but did not take particularly seriously. But it has not gone away. It keeps showing up in a recommendation, in a conversation, in a book title that catches your eye, in a topic that comes up more than once in different contexts. And there is something in the quality of the pull that feels different from ordinary interest. Feels like recognition. Capricorn is not typically described as spontaneously curious in an exploratory way. You are focused by nature. You go deep on what you already know matters to you rather than casting wide across many subjects. So when something new genuinely captures your attention and does not release it, that is worth paying close attention to. The pull is directional. It is pointing somewhere. The new door that is opening for you often has a skill or a body of knowledge at its threshold. The universe tends to activate interest in the thing you will need before you need it, so that by the time the door is fully open, you have some of what is required to walk through it with confidence. The curiosity you are feeling right now towards something new is not random. It is preparation. It is the universe saying, start learning this now because where you are going, this is going to matter. Follow the pull. Not impulsively, this is still Capricorn, and you are still someone who commits with intention rather than on a whim. But follow it. Invest time in it. Take it seriously enough to find out whether it is as significant as it feels. There is a high probability that it is. If what you are hearing feels accurate, know that it could happen if you applied this energy consistently for 21 consecutive days. That is the 21-day challenge pinned at the top of this channel. It is built around daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, that structure is exactly what has been missing. Signal 3. Certain people have started treating you differently. The shift in how certain people treat you is not dramatic. It is subtle. But Capricorn notices subtle things, especially in the behavior of people you have known long enough to have a baseline for. Someone who used to treat your ideas casually has started listening more carefully. Someone who used to be slightly dismissive has begun seeking your input. Someone whose respect you have wanted for a long time has started giving it, not lavishly, not with fanfare, but in small and consistent ways that have a different quality than before. This shift in how you are being perceived is a reflection of a shift in how you are carrying yourself. You may not have fully registered the change yet. Capricorn tends to be the last person to notice their own growth. You are too close to the daily reality of your own effort, too aware of every stumble and shortfall, to have an accurate view of how significantly you have actually evolved. But the people around you are seeing something. They are responding to something in you that is different, more settled, more certain, more aligned with your own authority in a way that calls forward a different kind of respect. This is one of the clearest external signals that something has genuinely shifted. Other people are always a mirror. When the mirror starts reflecting something new, it means you are something new. The door that is opening for you is being perceived by the people around you before you have fully perceived it yourself. Let their changed behavior be data. You are becoming someone who belongs in a different room than the one you have been sitting in. The new room is ready. Signal 4. Old fears are losing their believability. You know the fears. The ones that have been with you for years, some of them for your entire adult life. The fear that security will fall away. The fear that if you let your guard down, something important will be lost. The fear that you are not quite enough, not quite accomplished enough, not quite reliable enough, not quite the version of yourself that deserves the life you want. The fear that what you have built could disappear. The fear of being genuinely vulnerable with another person. These fears are still there. They have not vanished. But something about them has changed. They are less loud, less convincing. When they show up now, instead of immediately shaping your decisions the way they used to, you notice them and then you look at them and something in you says, I am not sure I believe this anymore. The old arguments the fears used to make, the reasons to pull back, the reasons to protect, the reasons to stay small, have stopped landing the way they used to. They feel outdated, like advice from a version of your life that no longer quite applies. Old fears lose their believability when the evidence of your actual life contradicts them too many times. You are still here. You survived the hard seasons. The risks you took did not destroy you. The moments of vulnerability, as few as they were, did not result in abandonment. The goals you pursued, even the ones that did not work out the way you planned, taught you things that made you stronger. The evidence has been accumulating quietly, persistently, in the way that Capricorn's growth always accumulates, slowly without fanfare, until one day you look around and realize that the foundation is far more solid than you thought. When the fears start to lose their grip, it is not because life has become safe. It is because you have become strong enough that the fears no longer have the same authority over you that they once did. This is a profound shift, but lately, your sleep has been doing something unusual. The dreams are more vivid than they have been in a long time. Or you are sleeping more deeply than usual, and waking with a clarity that feels like something was sorted in the night. Or you are waking in the middle of the night with ideas that feel genuinely important, thoughts that feel like they arrived from somewhere beyond your ordinary thinking. Saturn rules structured time. And the night is when Capricorn's strict relationship with structure relaxes enough for deeper information to come through. When major transitions are building in a Capricorn's life, the subconscious mind often processes them first, during sleep when the guard is down. The vivid dreams, the nighttime clarity, the sense that your sleeping hours have become unusually productive. These are your deeper intelligence working on the shift that is already in motion, integrating what is changing, preparing you for what is coming. Pay attention to what comes to you in these hours. Keep something to write on by the bed, not to analyze the dreams obsessively. Capricorn's analytical mind can turn even dream journaling into a form of control. But to capture what feels important, what images or themes or emotions keep returning, the subconscious is not speaking in riddles. It is showing you in its own language what the next chapter looks like. The vivid dreams are a signal. The night has become an ally. Let it do its work. If this message is resonating with your sign right now, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal at exactly the right moment. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or as a member of this community, is what keeps these messages alive. The ones that touch hearts, awaken minds, and transform lives. If this video has been making sense to you, drop in the comments the day you were born. Let us keep going. Signal 7. Your body has started responding to things differently. The body is always the first to know. The mind is slower, it needs evidence, logic, a framework. The emotions are somewhere in the middle. They respond, but they can be overridden by Capricorn's extraordinary willpower. But the body simply knows, and it responds without asking permission. You may have noticed changes in how your body responds to certain environments, certain foods, certain people, certain activities. Things that used to feel comfortable may now feel off, without an obvious explanation. Things that used to feel effortful may now feel natural. The body is recalibrating. It is adjusting its responses to match the new energetic reality of who you are becoming and what you are moving toward. Pay particular attention to how your body responds when you are in the presence of the people and places and activities connected to your next chapter. Does something in you relax when you are with a particular person? Does your energy lift when you engage with a particular kind of work? Does something physically settle when you are moving in a certain direction? The body's responses in this period are not random. They are directional. They are pointing you toward what fits the person you are becoming and away from what no longer does. Capricorn tends to override the body's signals with mental discipline. You are very good at pushing through physical resistance when a goal requires it. But right now, the body's signals are not resistance to be pushed through. They are information to be read. Read them carefully. The body is your most honest ally in navigating this transition, because it cannot be argued with, and it cannot be talked into pretending. Signal 8. You are finding it easier to forgive. Not everyone, not everything, and perhaps not completely, but there are things and people from your past that have carried a weight in your life for a long time. Old grievances, old disappointments, situations where you were treated unfairly or let down by someone you had trusted. And you have carried these things with a Capricorn's tenacity, which means you have carried them for a very long time and very thoroughly. But recently something has softened, not in the direction of pretending those things did not happen or that they were acceptable, more in the direction of setting them down. You are finding that you can think of certain people without the same familiar heat rising in you. You are finding that certain old grievances have lost their weight, that carrying them further is requiring more energy than the grievance is worth. You are finding, to your own slight surprise, that forgiveness is not something you are doing for the other person. It is something you are doing because you are ready to travel light. The new door that is opening requires you to move freely. You cannot walk into a new chapter while dragging the full emotional weight of every past chapter with you. Capricorn's loyalty, one of your greatest gifts, can sometimes apply itself to old wounds in a way that keeps them fresh long past the point of usefulness. The softening you are feeling now is not weakness. It is readiness. It is the recognition that the past belongs to the past, and what lies ahead belongs to who you are now, not who you were when you were hurt. The forgiveness is a signal. You are preparing to travel light. That is how you know the journey is real. Signal 9. Your relationship with your own ambition has become more honest. This is a quiet shift but a significant one. You have always been ambitious, but there has been, underneath the ambition, a kind of urgency that was driven less by genuine vision and more by the fear of not measuring up, of not having enough, not achieving enough, not being seen as enough by the people whose opinion mattered to you. And that fear-driven ambition has propelled you far. It has gotten a great deal done. But it has also been exhausting in a specific way because it was never quite satisfied, never quite able to say, yes, this is enough, I have arrived somewhere worth stopping to appreciate. The shift that has been happening is a growing honesty about which parts of your ambition come from genuine desire, and which parts have been about managing fear. Not all ambition is fear-based for you. A significant portion of it is genuinely connected to vision, to the things you care about building, to the legacy you want to leave. But the parts that have been fear-based are starting to feel different. Less compelling, less urgent, more obviously not worth the cost they have been demanding. This is not your ambition disappearing. This is your ambition clarifying, becoming more honest, becoming more aligned with the actual Capricorn, the one who wants to build something lasting and meaningful and genuinely excellent, not the one who has been running from the fear that without achievement they are insufficient. The more honest ambition is quieter, yes. but it is more powerful because it points consistently toward what actually matters to you rather than toward what temporarily quiets the fear. And consistent movement toward what actually matters is what builds a life worth looking back on. Signal 10. Something you have been working toward for a long time is getting closer. This one you can feel directly, even if you are hesitant to say it out loud. There is a goal, a dream, an intention that has been with you for a significant period of time. You have worked toward it steadily in the Capricorn way, building the foundation even when you could not see the full structure. You have made sacrifices for it, turned down things that conflicted with it, kept showing up for it even during the seasons when progress was invisible. And now, recently, something about its proximity has changed. Feels closer. Not in the naive, wishful way that hope sometimes feels. In the grounded, specific, something is actually happening way that is much more reliable. Small things have been happening that are unexpectedly connected to it. Doors have opened even slightly in the direction of it. People have appeared in your life who seem to be positioned exactly where this thing requires. The effort you have been putting in has started producing results that are visible rather than simply felt. This is the compound effect of Capricorn's long game finally becoming visible above the surface. You planted seeds in seasons when you could not see them growing. You maintained the work when there was no visible reward. You stayed the course when others would have redirected their energy. And now the roots are deep enough that what is above ground is starting to reflect the scale of what is below. What you have been working toward is not in the distance anymore. It is close enough that you can start doing the things that belong to the final approach. Start doing them. The long game is paying off. Signal 11. You feel underneath everything like you are ready. This is the signal that brings all the others together. All the shifts, all the signs, all the changes in how you think and feel and what you notice and what you want, they have been accumulating into something. And that something is a readiness that you have not quite felt before. Not the readiness that comes from having everything perfectly prepared, which is what Capricorn usually waits for, but a different kind of readiness. An inner readiness. A settled, quiet, deeply honest sense that you have become the person who belongs in the next chapter. Not the person who is almost ready. Not the person who will be ready after a few more things are in place. The person who is ready now. This is a remarkable place for Capricorn to arrive. Because you have spent so much of your life measuring your readiness against external benchmarks, the right level of achievement, the right financial position, the right set of qualifications, the right amount of time paid in service of a goal, that the idea of feeling ready from the inside first before all the external markers confirm it is unfamiliar. Can feel presumptuous. Can feel like getting ahead of yourself. But it is not. It is, in fact, exactly the right sequence. Inner readiness precedes outer arrival. The door opens on the inside before it becomes visible from the outside. The person who walks into a genuinely new chapter of their life always felt the readiness before the world reflected it back. You feel it now. Underneath the practical concerns, underneath the habits of caution, underneath the Capricorn instinct to double-check everything one more time, underneath all of that, there is a quiet and steady yes. That yes is the most important signal in this entire video. Listen to it. It is not wishful thinking. It is truth. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. Capricorn, doors do not announce themselves with fanfare. They do not send you a formal notification or mark themselves on your calendar. They open quietly, often slowly, and if you are too busy or too guarded or too convinced that nothing is actually changing, you can miss them. But you are not missing this one. The fact that you found this video, that you stayed with it through 11 signals, that each one landed with enough truth to keep you listening, that is not accidental. You were meant to hear this. The 11 signals in this video are not things that are about to happen. They are things that are already happening. They are already present in your life, already active, already reshaping the ground you are standing on. The new door is not somewhere in the future. It is already open. What remains is for you to choose to walk through it. And that choice for Capricorn is not a passive one. It is not a waiting one. It is a forward one. You were born under Saturn. the planet that asks more of you than any other force in the zodiac. Saturn does not give you shortcuts, does not give you easy answers. But what it does give you, what it has always given you, is the capacity to build things that last. Things that are real. Things that were earned through genuine work and genuine growth, and a commitment that most people do not have the stamina to maintain. The new chapter opening for you now is a Saturn chapter, which means it will ask something of you. It will require you to bring everything you have learned, everything you have built, everything you have become through all the quiet, persistent, sometimes lonely work of being Capricorn, and it will give back accordingly. The return that Saturn brings when the work is complete is not small. It is not temporary. It is the kind of reward that becomes the foundation of the next phase of building. Solid, substantial, enduring. You have done the work. The door is open. The signals are real. The readiness is real. What is left is the step. Take it without waiting for the perfect moment, because this is the perfect moment. Take it without waiting for the fear to disappear, because the fear will diminish as you move, not before. Take it in the same way you have taken every step that mattered in your life, steadily, intentionally, with the knowledge that the ground will hold you, because you built it yourself and you build things to last. The next chapter is waiting. Walk through the door.